January the 8th of 2018. This year, President Trump signed into law the H.R. 1242, which is a 400 Years of African American History Commissions Act. He signed that into law January the 8th of 2018. I knew nothing about it. So I've learned recently, and I'm going to read it to you. I've learned recently that when there's a craze on the internet, and I want you to think about this, when all the news stations are talking about something, and when there's some crazy thing going on, like the hot water challenge, cold water challenge, hit yourself in the head with a hammer challenge, when there's something going on like that, is it just blue? Is it just green? Tell me what you think. That means there's a distraction. There's something that they're doing that you need to pay attention to. So I went to research and find out what the distraction was on January the 8th of 2018, because that never made the news. On January the 8th of 2018, while President Trump was signing this into law, the Christopher Steele, the FBI, the Trump issues were running rampant. The bottle caps being banned in California was made major news. And then the Fire and Fury Trump distraction for the 2018 agenda took over the news waves. And why didn't we know about this? Why wouldn't this be something that you would bring to the news? Because you don't want people to know. Either you don't want people to know, or you don't want us to know something that you know. So now what they want to do, it says that the bill establishes the 400 Years of African American History Commission to develop and carry out activities throughout the United States to commemorate the 400th anniversary of the arrival of Africans in the England colonies at Point Comfort, Virginia in 1619. Some have argued that they were here before, they were here after, because of the calendars, the Gregorian calendar that we use now. However, the president and the powers that be are using this date here. So the commission, it says the commission must plan programs to acknowledge the impact that slavery had and the laws that enforce social discrimination had on the United States. It must encourage civic, patriotic, historical, educational, artistic, religious, and economic organizations to organize and participate in anniversary activities. It's an anniversary. It must assist states, localities, and nonprofit organizations to further the commemoration and coordinate for the public scholarly research on the arrival of Africans in the United States and their contributions to this country. So he signed into law this 400 Year of African American History Commission Act. This is supposed to take place on January the 20th of 2019. At the end of this act, it says, this commission shall terminate July the 1st of 2020. Not even a full year do we get an anniversary or an appreciation for our ancestors coming over here being tortured to death, which in my view was a holocaust of our ancestry nation. But we don't want to talk about that. We want to forget about that, right? No, we don't. Well, I don't. And then shy of 1 year, you want to terminate it and say, oh, sorry, no anniversaries for you. We're not going to remember you. They're probably not going to, they didn't want you to know because they weren't planning on doing anything anyway. So you need to go pull up this document. You need to read it in its entirety. If you have a nonprofit organization, if you want to do anything for your community or for your people, or to, I think, hey, let's get together and do what they did back when they did a march on Woolworths, and Woolworths lost $10 million in one day, and then they wanted to sit around the table and talk about jobs, justice, and fairness in this country. So you need to pull that document up. It's called the HR 1242. If you don't have it or you can't get it, you can get it. It's on there. It's PFD. It's on there. It's on there. Just pull that, put that in there, and it'll pull up. But read it. And if you can do something to help, you have a nonprofit organization that can use these funds, because in my view, the funds are just sitting there. They're not going to let you know about it because you just might get a bright idea to use it. Right? So yes, go take a look at that. I mean, we need to wake up, people. We really do. And to further add to insult to injury is I learned, I read over all of, there are nine, I guess, rules that determine whether there was a crime committed on a nation. We absolutely cover every one of those rules. Every last one of them. And yet, there would never be reparations for us. I'm still researching about I think it was John Connolly who recently got fired for allegations of sexual harassment. And once I researched it, I found out that he was so close to getting us reparations because he proved that we deserved it. So much to the point that he had calculated that every African American in this country would get $3 million. He gets fired this year for allegations of sexual harassment, and he's been fighting for us and doing this for us since 1979. I just don't think that we are that stupid that we can't see, like the Wizard of Oz, the man behind the curtain. No, I mean, we have to start being honest with ourselves first, if not anyone else. We have to start being honest with ourselves. And, I think that if my child can go to school and learn about the Holocaust, and which my heart goes out for the people that suffered in the Holocaust, because that was a crime against humanity. And yes, they were definitely received their reparations because that was a crime against a nation. There was something done to them that was so horrifically wrong by another nation. And if my child can go to school and learn about the Holocaust and the Jews, and they can teach their children about their ancestors and what their ancestors went through, instead of turning a blind ear or a blind eye to what happened. I mean, can you imagine what the ancestors are feeling right now? I mean, we've done nothing to remember them. And the Jews, even the elderly, they roll up their sleeves and they say, this is what we went through. This is what happened to us. And on that day, whenever they celebrate it, you better not say anything against them. Anything. But yet you're told to be quiet. Oh, just forget about it. Oh, that happened back then. Just shy of 50 years ago. We couldn't even go in the same bathroom, the same restaurant. We were being hosed down, ate up by dogs, dragged through the streets, hung on trees, testicles cut off. Come on now. I mean, So no, I don't know if the ancestors are speaking through me, but I have it in my heart that there's something I can do to remember what they went through. What they toiled through, the torture, the sadistic things that they went through. It's unbelievable that people would have to go through something like this. And, when I read it, I research it, and I find out what happened, what went on. I mean, you could literally buy photographs of slaves that were hanging in the streets. I got to go to eBay, put it in there. I'm not lying to you. I'm not going to buy any, but I'm surprised that they had them for sale. Who is selling these pictures and why? It's crazy. And then we, want to play Pokemon. Chase something through the streets that's not there. You lost your mind. Or we want to play Candy Crush. Or I play Word Scrabble in my free time. But we want to do stuff like that. But I do research a lot too, so I don't count myself. Anyway, so we have to start. We have to start somewhere, and it's definitely not listen to the latest rap song that's belittling the women of your nationality and calling them out of their names, and just to the degradation of our people. It's just ridiculous, and it's embarrassing, actually. Why are you sitting up putting that in your subconscious? Because you get more of the same. More of the same. And for you not to realize it, it's just sad to me. It really is. However, stay tuned to my show because I love talking about stuff like this. I love to talk about anything that's going to help someone else, especially open their eyes or enlighten you. If I say anything on the show and you want to go research it, write it down, go look it up, find out for yourself. And then don't stop there. Keep digging, keep digging, keep digging. And then you will also be enlightened. And the Creator will help you understand it all. He will.